let's talk a little bit about how it's impacted the cannabis sector. I think a lot of us were pleasantly surprised that most medical dispensaries were considered to be essential businesses during
Yeah.
those initial shutdowns. But have any pot stocks been especially resilient during the pandemic, and that you think are a good sign for those companies?
Yeah, the retailers. And the reason for that is retail, you mentioned medical dispensaries, but also recreational dispensaries in most of the states that have legalized recreational. They were also deemed to be essential businesses, which was a very interesting and to me unexpected move. It makes sense. I just didn't expect, local and state authorities to be that generous.
For what it's
Uh,
worth, I think liquor stores were also considered essential. So
yeah,
kind of
so
in
it's the
that
same.
category of coping mechanisms.
Exactly, it's the same theory. You want people to get drunk and high and forget that this awful thing is happening. But yeah, the companies that are more focused on the retail segment weathered the storm a little better. It's hard for anyone involved in retail because simply whether your store is allowed to open as an essential business or not, people are just not going out. They're not going to stores. They're not looking in windows and browsing and coming in. Oh, I'll buy that. It's much more purposeful and targeted and directed. But the fact that it was a lifeline for a lot of these companies, and business was pretty good in a lot of places. I live in California, in Los Angeles. We have a clutch of recreational dispensaries here, and just casually driving by them, I wouldn't say they were always busy, but you would see what passes for a crowd these days, and people social distancing outside, waiting to get inside. So yeah, I mean, people were using weed as a coping mechanism, and quite a few companies posted decent quarter-on-quarter growth throughout the year. I don't have any examples to hand, but they tended to be either very heavily retail focused or have like a strong retail arm, and I think that's going to continue. I think anybody who's used weed, as you say, as a coping mechanism, is going to continue to do so. The lights are going to continue to be on, and especially now with these other states coming on stream, you're going to have more. The business generally, the retail pot business, is going to expand. So I would, for that segment, for the retail or retail focused segment, I'd expect decent growth numbers to continue, if not in the double digits, at least some pretty decent advancement.
Sure thing. One stock I know I've looked at and how it behaved in the pandemic was Planet 13. So they have a superstore of cannabis on the Vegas Strip. Obviously, Vegas
Yeah.
tourism was totally crushed, but they were able to pivot to delivery and do
Yeah.
really well there. So made a lot of inroads with local residents. That's probably likely to stick around. So that is definitely one to consider.